In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a basic granny square using one colour. We're going to start off with a slip knot on our hook, and then we're going to make 4 basic chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to make a circle out of that 4 chains. So we want to come back down to the beginning of the chain and put your hook in there and do a slip stitch. So that creates this little circle where we're going to be doing all of our stitches in there. The granny square is made up of groups of 3 trebles, little clusters of 3 trebles. So to start off the square, we're going to do 3 chain to count as your first treble, and then 2 treble into the circle. Okay, that's my first little cluster of 3 trebles. And for the corners, you want to do 2 chain in each corner. Now I do 2 chain in each corner and no chains on the side. I just know with my tension that suits my tension and my square is going to work out. Some people like to put 2 chain in the corners and 1 chain on each side. It really just depends on your own tension, but this is how I like to do my squares, and they work out very well and they stay nice, they keep their shape well. So I'm going to do 2 chain, and then I'm going to come back into the circle and do 3 trebles. Three. And then we need another corner, so we're going to do 2 chain and then another 3 trebles. And then we're going to do another 2 chain and 3 trebles. So we have 4 groups of 3 trebles. Okay, see it there? So we need one last corner over here, and we're going to do 2 chain. And then we'll join into the top of the 3 chain that we started with. So 1, 2, 3 in there and do a slip stitch. Now we have the basis for our granny square. Now I've worked my tail in at the back of all of those stitches, so I can just give it a little tug like this and we'll close that gap and it's nice and neat. And so I always like to start off in the corners. So in order to stay in one, if I was changing colour, I'd be cutting this off here and fastening off and joining up my new colour in the next corner. But we're staying with this colour and we don't want to be cutting it off each round. So we're going to stay with this colour and we're going to slip stitch across these stitches into the corner. Okay, so we're going to go in here and slip stitch. Then another one. And then one last slip stitch into the actual corner space. So here I am over in the corner now, ready to start the next round. And for the corner cluster, and these are going to be the same, obviously you're going to have 4 corner clusters on every round. We're going to start with 3 chain to count as our first treble. And we're going to do 2 treble, 2 chain, and 3 treble, all into that one space. Okay, so you can see the corners nice and defined there. Okay, so when you're looking at it, obviously we've done our 3 chain and it counts as a treble. So each corner cluster is going to have 3 trebles, 2 chain and 3 trebles in it. Now, as I said, I'm not going to do any chains on the side here. That will very much depend on your own tension, whether that will work or not. You can put a chain, single chain here and jump to do your next corner cluster. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm showing you the way I like to do my squares. So no chain, and then into the next corner cluster again, I'm going to do 3 treble, 2 chain and 3 treble, all into the one space. So you see there, there's another corner one done. And again, I'm just going to jump straight over into the next corner and do 3 treble, 2 chain and 3 treble. So you can see it's forming a nice square there now. So we have one left to do, and we're doing our 3 treble, 2 chain and 3 treble into this corner as well. So 3 treble, 2 chain and 3 treble. And then as before, we want to close our square over, so we're going to join into the 3rd chain of the 3 chain that we started with. So 1, 2, 3 in there, and do your slip stitch, and that's the 2nd round done. So you can see the shape is forming nicely there. We're going to go on now and do our 3rd round. I'm just going to unravel some yarn here so I don't have to keep stopping while I'm crocheting. So again, on each round, obviously you're going to have the same, you're going to be repeating the same steps for the corner clusters. Now, just right now. So from here then, again, because I like to start in the corners, I'm going to slip stitch across these couple of stitches to get into the corner. So do this slip stitch here, this one here, and then slip stitch into the actual corner space. So here I am now ready to go again. So again, my corner is 1, 2, 3 chain to count as my first treble, 2 trebles. See, so you've got 3 technically there, and then 2 chain and 3 trebles. Now, so in this round here, we have our first corner side space, okay? So we were 4 corners, obviously, and then on each side you have this space to work into. Now we're just going to be working 3 trebles into this space, so 1 cluster into this space. So we've done our corner, and then into this space here on the side, we're going to do 3 trebles. And then we're on to our next corner. So 3 trebles, 2 chains, and 3 trebles. Okay, and now we're on to our side again. We've got 1 space here in the side to fill in. So that's 3 trebles in there. And then jump onto our next corner. Three trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles into that corner as well. Then we're on the side again. We have a side space, so 3 trebles in there. And then we're onto our corner again. 3 trebles, 2 chain, and 3 trebles. And we have 1 last side cluster to go. And in here we do our 3 trebles, and then we want to join with a slip stitch as before into the top of the 3 chain here on that round. So you can see the rows building and building. It's nice and square there now, just waiting for it to focus a little bit. So you can see it's always groups of 3 trebles, okay? See them? So on this round we're going to have our 4 corners, but we've created now an extra space, so we're going to have 2 side clusters, which is these ones here, okay? So again, to get into the corner, we're going to slip stitch across those stitches. Sorry, now my yarn split, I'll do that again. In there, slip stitch and slip stitch into the corner, and there we are, ready to go. I'm just going to do this last round pretty quick, just to show you the extra side clusters that need to be worked. So there's our first corner cluster done. Okay, and you can see here now we have this space and this space to do our side clusters in. So we're going to do 3 treble in here. Again, I'm not putting any chains in between these groups, only in the corners. And then 3 treble into this one. You can see there, okay? And then I do my corner again, 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble. Okay, so you can see it there. And then obviously on the next round, you're going to have 3 side spaces to do. So again, you come around, you do your corner cluster, and then these individual side ones. So the number of side clusters that you'll be doing will be increasing on every row as the square goes out. So you can continue like this. Basically, you can make it the same with any granny squares. You can make it as big as you want it. You can leave it this size. The ones on my blanket are all around this kind of size. I'll be doing an extra row on this to add it in. So that's how you do your granny square in just one colour. And check out my other videos to see how to join as you go if you're making a blanket. Thanks for watching.